We are a digital strategy and communications consultancy based in Dubai. We've been in operation a few years. It's run by myself and my partner, Craig. So we work mainly along inside the areas of marketing automation, content marketing, social media marketing, influencer marketing, digital PR. And one of the verticals that we focus on as a business is events. Dubai is well known for the events business. It's a major hub for a lot of international events businesses out here, and some of the biggest business events in the region are actually are held in Dubai. So we partner with a lot of the events agencies out here, and we work across. We support from an angle of, let's say, content marketing, like I mentioned, marketing automation. So one of the companies that we partner with is called Messe Frankfurt. They're the third biggest exhibitions company globally. They have a portfolio of, I think, around 24 events and conferences out here in the region. And we support them from the aspect of primarily digital marketing. So everything from content, paid advertising on search and social, localization of their global messaging, so that it fits with the audience that's based within this region. What I'm going to take you through is yes, you can see this. So our process as a business, we think about digital and PR and comms as a very integrated play, let's say. So we don't really work with companies in isolation, let's say, of specific tactical execution. We partner as a marketing partner, so we like to have control of how our content marketing fits in with your PR communications, how your paid advertising on search and social fits in with your organic social. So we manage that full process end to end, and we also are involved in the data and analytics and understanding what's working, what isn't working. Our agency is a HubSpot partner, so that's our go-to platform generally if an organization doesn't already have a CRM or marketing automation system in place. So as I said, we approach this from very much an integrated approach. We're very heavy on content marketing. That's where we specialize in. We're very much of the mindset that being a media business first is crucial. Being able to communicate and deliver value, information, education, entertainment, whatever it is to your audience, bringing them value is where the key is to engaging them, and then building on that offering with the services that a company is looking to sell. So, so as you can see, I've just added this in. I think a lot of people who are in the digital space will see this as a similar to a HubSpot approach. It's something that we've very bought into. We've been working with HubSpot now for about 8 years, 7 or 8 years. So we're well experienced with this platform and with the strategies that work around it. When we think about building out our content plans, we take the approach of a pyramid. So when we work with an events company, for example, and they're looking at building out a content marketing strategy in order to support their events, we think about creating anchor pieces of content, whether it's interviews with their exhibitors or their visitors, maybe thought leaders within the industry itself. So I'll give you an example, which is the one I'm going to bring up very shortly, is Beauty World Middle East. This is a exhibition that we work on almost every year. It is geared towards the beauty industry, but the B2B side of the beauty industry, and it focuses on retailers, manufacturers, professionals, people within the business side of it. So when we think about creating content, we take those personas, let's say, whether it be, let's say, a manufacturer or a retailer. We think about what type of information can we create, or what kind of content that we can create that will deliver value to that particular individual, whether, as I said, it's like through information, education, entertainment, or whatever the case is. Often it's the case for B2B. People are looking for information related to the market, trying to understand what's happening, trying to understand how the consumer trends that are happening, maybe changes and regulations that are occurring within the region, and we take those kind of ideas and we draw in thought leaders, let's say, from the industry that are knowledgeable about those subjects, and then build out long form pieces of content, usually in the form of, let's say, interviews or whatever the case is. That allows us the opportunity to break down those long form pieces of content into shorter pieces, shorter snippets of video, let's say, for IGTV, Facebook, whatever the case, and then pulling imagery as well, as long as quotes that allows us to share that on social. The interview format also works well for taking text-based content as well. Usually, if we have a thought leader that's talking about market regulations, we can turn that piece into, maybe 1,000 word or 1,500 word thought leadership piece that also gets distributed by, let's say, that event company, as whether maybe it's a blog post or white paper or something that gets distributed to their audience. We also work heavily in the influencer marketing space. This is something we're really strong with in the region, particularly in the beauty space. Quite difficult, and when you think of beauty influencers, often people think of consumers, and sharing, for example, tutorials related to cosmetics or reviews of cosmetics. What we're quite good at is finding influencers that are followed by, for example, let's say a makeup artist who's followed by other makeup artists and followed by other industry professionals because they are so exceptional at what they do within the industry. What we did for Beauty World Middle East was we were able to, because let's say the professional audience was it was an audience that they were looking to build out, we were able to identify influencers that were not necessarily very consumer focused, but more professionally driven, more professionally focused. And we were able to draw on those relationships and build on those kind of influencer partnerships to drive traffic for this event. What we're also very focused on with our partners is monitoring, data building, trying to understand that full consumer journey. What a lot of we find with the clients that we work with is transparency is something that they really struggle with. They know they're spending money on marketing, and even though there's this perception around digital that you can track everything and you can monitor everything and you can define an ROI and everything, it's not always necessarily the case, and sometimes it's quite difficult to understand what exactly is happening when you're running different campaigns related to influencer, maybe publishing blog posts, also paid advertising. As HubSpot partners, we work very closely with HubSpot and our clients in order to kind of build that full funnel journey and understand, what our consumer or what our client's audience is interacting with, how their journey looks, building out that life cycle to understand, what type of content should we be putting out, when is the best time to run paid advertising, what results are we likely to get if we do X, Y, and Z, whatever the case is. So this is something that's, I would say, generally, I wouldn't say it's new to the region. I mean, HubSpot's been around for a long time, and obviously, the question around defining ROI for digital has been around for a little while. But I would say that when we look at the region out here, people are taking time to not only invest in digital, but invest in it in a significant way that they're able to really define the type of ROI that they're looking for off the campaigns that they're running. So I'll give you an example of one of the clients that we have. Beauty World Middle East is run by Messe Frankfurt, which I said is the third biggest exhibitions organizer globally. They contacted us a couple of years ago because we were heavy into content marketing. We were doing a lot of ourselves, and one of their team reached out to us in order to help them build out their content marketing strategy and their digital presence online. So when we got to them, one of the biggest struggles that they had was being able to understand what type of content they should be putting out, what type of paid advertising campaigns they should be doing, but also understanding what is working for them, what isn't. Can we identify, increases in traffic related to organic search and how that translates into conversions, which was pre-registration for them. So when we took that project on, there was a lack of transparency within that actual process that they had. There very little or of I being defined on any of the activities. Everything was being done offline, a lot of direct mailings, a lot of telemarketing, very little focus on digital. So when we came in, we set out their digital marketing strategy for them in terms of content marketing, influence marketing, search, social, paid advertising, and also brought in the HubSpot platform with us as well, and got them set up on that. When we started building out our personas and started looking at the type of content that would work for these types of individuals, like I kind of mentioned earlier, we realized that a lot of the information they were putting out was very much related to the show, how many visitors they had last year, and X, Y, and Z stuff that is important, but maybe not as important as what we discovered to be important, which was people were interested in understanding changes and regulations within the market, import, export. VAT was a big thing at the time when we came on board with them, trying to understand the implications of the business when all these these different things are happening within the market. So we started sharing that information from a Beauty World Middle East perspective, which grew huge numbers in terms of visitor traffic. You can see here that the end result was a 26% increase in on-site attendance, with a 47% increase in leads, and blog conversions was 100% up. They were very heavy on getting that right because they wanted to be viewed as thought leaders within the industry. So what we were able to help them do was take guidance from their head office in Frankfurt in terms of brand guidelines, in terms of the global marketing strategy, and be able to localize that for this region. Help them put out content, that thought leadership information that was very specific to Saudi, UAE, also creating Arabic content that would appeal to other GCC visitors for the show, and really just helping them localize that strategy and helping them build out a strong content marketing strategy that would help them see success over the few years. And it's continued like that with them since we've come on board with them. Obviously this year has been a huge shock to the system for a lot of events companies out here, certainly globally, but I think what they have that a lot of people don't have is they have an ongoing engaged audience by creating webinars or putting out thought leadership pieces on a regular basis. They've been able to retain the interest in their brand on a long-term basis, rather than just an events company or an event that's that hits their existing database 3 months before the show and hopes that those people will turn up. We really focus on that long-term relationship with with their audience. So that's kind of where we're at with Straightforward. This is what we do as a business. This is one of the case studies that we have from Beauty World Middle East, and how we kind of translated global guidelines and global marketing strategy into a localized strategy, and how we've helped them as a business build out their marketing strategy and their digital strategy for the region.